It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good evening, quarter to 7 p.m. CT, meaning that within the next 15 minutes we are going to get Fed rate decision, and then 30 minutes later, so 7:30 p.m. CT, we are going to have Powell press conference. So next 45 minutes to up to 1 hour, you are more than welcome to join me for this live market coverage of the Fed rate decision. It's gonna be next 24 to 48 hours. It's gonna be extremely interesting, taking into the consideration possible manipulation related to the end of the month. That's the first thing first. Also, it's not only Fed today. Earlier we had Bank of Canada rate decision, dovish statement, dovish press conference, and during the upcoming Tokyo session we are going to get Bank of Japan rate decision. We are going to get plenty of news out of the China as well as out of Australia, right? Europe tomorrow, they're going to be the focus on CPI. Then during the New York session we have Canadian GDP, all right, Chicago PMI, personal spending and income from US, and of course Friday we are going to have non-farm payrolls day. It's gonna be tricky on Friday because half of the Europe is going to be on a bank holiday. So very interesting in next 24-48 hours. Before we jump into the details, let's start with the risk warning, guys. Please bear in mind trading FX on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for all investors. You can sustain a loss of some or initial investment, so please do not invest the money you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. All right, before we will jump straight into the dollar. For those who were watching Bank of Canada rate decision, we're focusing on Canadian dollar and oil. Unfortunately, we didn't get any kind of the pullback / rally on the Canadian dollar. So there was, from my perspective, I didn't have a chance to join the party on the Canadian dollar. But congratulations to all of you who were in a discussion during that meeting, and where we that was the Meisters, fantastic stuff. We discovered algo and to the point, right? The short was to the point, very tight stop, and we hit some time ago. We hit the target close or almost the target related to the yellow zone at the bottom. So there was a risk like. There was a risk like 20 cents and 75 cents we discussed as a target, so 3R. Congratulations to those who first had a time to watch and eventually to grab and test that idea. But that's the history, that's the past. The most important stuff here is going to be related to the dollar. So instead of oil, I'm going to place gold chart here. It might be very interesting. Now, Briefly about the upcoming Bank of Japan. Be careful, guys. Market is right now few hours ago. Market was trading the probability of 1/10 of cut at 33%. No change, something around 65%. So it might be some kind of the fireworks during the Tokyo session in relation to the yen. That's why I'm not gonna focus too much on the dollar yen. Just briefly, we are testing super important possible supply level, this type of the over under blue line, meaning some kind of the weekly supply zone, and that's plenty of reasons to trying to short the dollar yen here, right? But there is a big but in case of the some kind of the hawkish outcome from the Fed, and eventually we can expect dovish Bank of Japan. We might see market trying to break out here, going through 109.20, opening the way towards 109.75, 110. So I'm going to be very careful with the dollar yen. All right, but the dollar yen is the second heavy inside the dollar basket, and the dollar basket right now doesn't look good, right? So before we jump to the euro dollar or cable, so I'm going to, so we discussed dollar yen, so I'm going to replace this by the cable. All right, we will see, of course. Now let's have a look what we have, guys, on the dollar index, because as I mentioned on the monthly chart, and we are approaching end of the month, I would say the dollar buyers, the bulls, are in trouble right now. So give me 1 second, please, here. Yeah, that's the dollar index, that's the future market, and as you can see, it's not an outside month, right? It's almost like an outside month here. With the calculation to the cash, it is outside. Anyway, it looks like almost outside, and that's where I think the next, especially 24 hours, is gonna be extremely important from the dollar bulls perspective, right? Because the bears are fine. As long as we are below monthly open, bears are fine for now, okay? What the bulls have to do, have to try to push prices higher and close the month above previous month low, right? Trying to avoid, based on the monthly close, trying to avoid this outside month and this negative view, right? So there is a lot of work for bulls, and well, looks like the bears, at least for now, looks quite good, right? And one can argue that we already seen a similar situation like here, right? But the real outside month we had, for example, here, right? And then what happened? It was like this, right? The next outside was closer to here or almost, and we saw something like this. So, you know, it's not, of course, it's not that clear. Both sides got their arguments in hand, so it's gonna be even more interesting to see what's going to happen. Let's get back to the platform. Let's get back to the platform, and you know, in my opinion, we are going to get the cut, because when we are talking what market is expecting, so market based on the Fed Fund futures, there is a 95% of the cut, so we are going to get this 25 basis cut. But that's what, in my opinion, is already priced in. All right, that's what I think is priced in. Now, what market is going to look for, because there is a right now very low probability of the December cut, So here market is going to look for some hints. All right. What about December, right? Because as of now, market is trying to tell us that, guys, the next cut is gonna to take place in 2020. Well, okay. So you know, we were discussing this before with the stocks at the high, all-time high, right? With quite good GDP earlier today. Well, there shouldn't be, even we shouldn't see the cut today. That's the truth, right? So that's what would be something dollar very, very positive. Of course, what we can expect from the Powell is the thing that, all right, all those outside developments are gonna be very important, as well as the trade war with the China. And here we get some weird information earlier today when we saw the risk on spike to the downside based on the news that Chile cancels the APEC meeting. So there is, looks like they crashed the Trump plan to sign the first phase agreement with China during that event, right? So of course Twitter was laughing. So that's gonna be quite interesting. Right now, let's have a look. Let's talk about the charts. That's what it's most interesting for us. What I'm going to focus on. I'm going to focus on previous week low, right? So levels close to the weekly open, especially yesterday low. In case of the spike to the downside and quick rejection, right? So that might be some kind of the bullish setup, but I would prefer, of course, it's from now it's like 50, 60 pips. I would like to see the spike towards Thursday high and previous week something close to 1170. That would be, from my perspective, would be great, right? But I'm gonna to place one more line here based on previous Wednesday rally. All right, this 1140. That might be the case here for euro dollar bulls. So basically, what I'm looking for failure around either last week high or low, right? In case of one-way ticket, meaning that we are going to break through without looking back, that's gonna be the challenge. That meaning that's gonna be very similar to what we've seen with Canadian dollar, and that's what I wouldn't see. All right, that's what I wouldn't see. Hi MHB, how are you doing? Good evening. Well, I don't know. I really don't know. If I would know, then all in, right? But I don't know. We can try to, based on what we have on the chart, we can try to predict what's going to happen. But you know, it's gonna be challenge. You know, we can also try based on the situation with the Canadian dollar and the dovish statement and press conference. Well, one can argue it might happen the same with the dollar, meaning a little bit to the downside. So guys, there is 1 minute left. Good luck to all of you. Again, you know me, I'm not gonna chase the prices. I wanna see what's going to happen. I didn't chase the prices on the Canadian dollar. Okay, I missed something, but then the oil trade, it was the Meisterstück. It was fantastic discovery of what might happen. Especially that we provide all the details how I'm going to do that. Anyway, that's the past, and here again I'm not gonna chase the prices, guys. So we might end up that without the trade this evening. But that's how I'm doing this stuff, right? I'm not gonna chase the price only because we are live and I have to do the trade. No, not at all. We are going to have a meeting tomorrow, coverage by the chat, and next voice meeting is gonna be Friday with non-farm payrolls live market coverage. All right, good luck, guys. Let's have a look what we are going to get. Don't forget that there is a little bit, because of the rules, a little bit of the delay. YouTube rules, a little bit of the delay. So the dollar is stronger right here, right now. So for now we are going back this green dotted line, right? We have two of them here. So we are going back under the Monday high right now, okay? So that might be quite significant. And that might open weekly open, right? So, well, let's have a look if we can somehow join that party. Already recovered. So meaning that we were trying to take out the intraday stops based on what we've seen today, right? So half of that zone, that should be here, some supply. No, we are trying to go higher. So we've seen this one manipulation to the downside. Let's have a look what we are going to get next. So Fed cuts target interest rates 25 basis points to a range of 1.5–1.75 as expected. Fed vote in a favor of policy was 8-2, where George and Rosengren wanted no change in rates. Okay. In change to wording, Fed says will continue to monitor incoming information as it assesses the appropriate path for the federal funds rate target range. Fed says business fixed investment and exports remain weak. Fed repeats labor market strong, economic growth rising at the moderate rate. Fed repeats job gains have been solid, unemployment has remained low. Alright, so pre-decision, pre-FOMC high stops were taken out. Fed repeats household spending has been rising at a strong pace, inflation still running below 2%. So let's have a look what we are going to get here. So that's FOMC price action right now. To the downside, recovery, stop hunt. If we are going to get through that level, probably we are going to open the levels I've been talking about, 1130, maybe 1140 and 1160. In case of the move back below 1111 and 1106, we might open the way down towards weekly open, meaning 1080, right? But well, guys, compared to what we saw during the Canadian Bank of Canada rate decision, that's completely different, right? Well, so above 20, things might get interesting to the downside for the dollar. The thing is, if you are going to get that, right? Or maybe everyone is waiting for a Powell right now. Guys, there are some comments going on right now that some kind of the Da Vinci, using the Da Vinci Code language, of course, as I'm quoting this one, they are on hold for the immediate future. So looks like all in all, it's gonna be all in the Powell hands. But if really market is going to get that on hold in December, we might see a little bit stronger dollar, and that's what is going on right now. I may actually try to, with very tight stop and very tight exposure, I may try to, let's have a look what's going to happen. I've got like 10 pips stop above this spike high, very tiny exposure, and I'm targeting this weekly open. So looks like I'm almost 3R. I'm going to try to grab this 3R if possible. The only thing is I wanna see the initial low, post FOMC low is taken out. We are fighting at the Monday high right now still. But because of the oil, I do have some reserves, so very tiny exposure. Let's have a look. Would be great if we are going to hit that before Powell press conference, so that would be great. But again, based on what we discussed, guys, it's only pure trade the news position. But based on what we discussed at the very beginning, dollar bulls, they need to make the horrendous job and push the dollar much higher than where we are right now, to avoid the the very ugly picture on the monthly chart. And of course, if you are going to get back a little bit higher, I may not want to wait for this full stop. If I'm gonna be fast enough, if they are not gonna make the spike, I may simply cut. As looks like this Monday high, they're trying to hold this Monday high. Because if they are gonna kill the volatility, end of the month, so there is not going to be the reason to try to be on that end. So I'm targeting the blue dotted line, green dotted line meaning weekly open, blue dotted line, green dotted line meaning Monday low. But we have to get back below the Monday high. So I sold at 0805. What the poor price action. Gee. In the meantime, looks like indices like what is going on. Gold trying to hold this 1490. Oh, come on. Can someone sell some at 111, for example, right? Some good, few good tickets and we done, right? Because the picture they drawing right now, it's looks like if I'm going to get 8 from that, I'm gonna be happy. Forget about the 30 pips move after Fed rate decision. That was good before 2008. Holy crap. Come on, push it lower. Let's go for it, Tiger. So we might see another tiny bounce, retest 11.11, and maybe then 5 pips to the downside. Oh, come on. 15 minutes to the Powell. So guys, please speed it up a bit. Yeah, okay. This bounce I expected, right? Those 2 pips rally I did expect. Okay, I'm lowering the stop. This type of the bounce I really expected. I told you before it happened. I'm lowering the stop. Actually, I cannot lower too much. No, I'm okay. I'm leaving where it is. So looks like they wanna fall under their own weight, so meaning that the max they can do from here, it's gonna be like, well, somewhere close to 111 or maybe a bit below if they decide to go that way. What the poor action. Guys, you've got some stops to take out right below this low. Okay, they trying to trade this over under here. Yes, to the pip. Jeez. Okay, I'm ready to cut in case of the, we should go lower from here. No, and we are on the 1 minute and there are no fireworks on the 1 minute chart. That's showing how the poor this market is. Okay, narrowing to 7.5. Because what I wanna see, it was the Riley, lower Riley we should break, right? After the initial breakdown, test of the range, something like 77.88, something similar, we should go lower. Otherwise, I don't want to be with them, meaning that I'm 7.5 risking right now in terms of pips. And the stocks loves what is going on. Maybe we are on the wrong market. Some signs of life on the gold. Come on, guys. No raising candle, falling candle. Oh my. Okay guys, I'm out. Maybe -1 or so. I'm not gonna trade with them. Now it's gonna be easier for them to break to the downside without me. Let's have a look what the Powell will bring here. If you remember our previous meetings, guys, the real reaction we might see 12-24 hours post FOMC, right? All of this is tricky right now because it's end of the month and actually it's a long weekend in Europe. So the real reaction we might see next week. I'm glad that I'm out as they're trying to push higher. No, not willing to move, not at all, MHB, you're right. It was the FOMC decision 20 minutes ago, and euro dollar is moving within 10 pips range. It was the cut. I'm not gonna comment on it. I'm going to look at the Dow Jones price action later today, as I think DJ is the weakest, right? Compared to what Nasdaq and compared to S&P, what they doing there. What I'm gonna to look for, I'm going to look for any kind of the price action to the upside based on Fed, Powell, and maybe Bank of Japan later today, or maybe better if I'm going to say during the Tokyo session, right? So what I wanna see is, you know the drill. I wanna see some kind of the upper shadow around this supply. I would prefer this type of the line, right? Higher highs. But if you don't have what you like, you have to like what you have. So this type of the price action on the daily chart, at some point, if we are going to see the attempt to break higher, right, upper shadow close below the line, especially with the break maybe of this trend line, that's going to be my setup to go short on the DJ, right? Yeah, euro is powerful. Powerful move from 111.07 to 111.12. Fortune 5 pips. But the gold is saying something, I think. Cable trying to go higher, but guys, if you are following some informations that at some point in the past the Goldman recommend to go long cable because of the Brexit, right now based on this latest UK Parliament vote, there are the rumors that Goldman already took the profit. So be careful out there if you haven't heard about this. And if you are still long pound, it's good to confirm somewhere else. Do your own research as usual, guys. So would be smart to be careful with this cable upside move, right? Especially that we already tested 130 and the bulls failed there. And guys, that's the 1 minute chart, right? And what we did, let's not count the upper and lower shadow. So we have 11 pips of the move. Amazing volatility. Alright guys, probably it's gonna be more manipulation going on. I do prefer recharge my batteries. We have the whole day tomorrow. We are going to start, it's not scheduled yet, but we are going to start somewhere around the or after London Open. So hit subscribe button, you're gonna to get the information, and we are going to stay through all this London and half of the New York session, and we are going to cover on Friday, we are going to cover live non-farm payrolls. Guys, that's it from me. Nothing here. I don't want to be trapped. I've been trying short side, didn't work my way. I closed with 0 -1. So that's it. Have a great evening, I'm gonna to recharge the battery. I wanna be focused on what is going to happen tomorrow. Plenty of stuff. Chinese data, Bank of Japan, Aussie involved as well, European data. So hopefully we are going to get something tomorrow, and it's gonna be like what we've seen yesterday, right? It was also when we were long towards the end of our meeting, long pound. We collected few small greens over the course of the day, and then we hit a full target, nice target on the cable. So hopefully we're going to get something similar tomorrow. Guys, it was my pleasure. Don't be trapped later today during the Powell press conference. That's it from me. It was the pleasure as usual to be with you guys. Have a great rest of the evening. Have a great rest of the New York session. Goodbye.